You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello there, and welcome back to the official Deaf Crocodile Podcast. It is the month of November. We are deep into the holiday season somehow already, and yet we have not talked about animation in multiple months, so we're getting back to our roots with that. But first, gentlemen, Craig, Dennis, how are we today, other than Craig being a little ornery?
It's raining up here in Santa Cruz in Northern California.
And it's headed my way.
Yes.
the storms are only above Craig's house.
The atmospheric river.
Yes.
We were laughing about that whenever they say there's an atmospheric river, and I'm like,
yeah, so
you can't just say a big ass storm is coming.
Yeah, this week could be interesting because we're getting a new roof on the 24th, which is after this big storm. So I may need to be sitting at my desk with an umbrella. Because that's exactly where the roof was leaking, right down on top of my head at my workstation. So
I just found a leak in the garage this morning. Fortunately, it's between the washer and dryer, and so I think we could probably have it patched. But we're having work done on the garage and a second bathroom put in, so we have stuff all over the backyard, like under plastic sheets, and in a new storage shed we put in the backyard, which is packed with Deaf Crocodile Blu-ray records and all sorts of stuff, and books and Christmas and Halloween ornaments and you name it. So, but it's beautiful up here. Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Amazing. One of the things we should probably talk about before we dive into Norstein is we just had the first Deaf Crocodile website sale ever. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about the response, because it seems a little overwhelming for everyone right now.
yeah, it was not. I mean, honest to God, I thought we're only putting the standard editions on sale, 50% off, and I was like, all right. If we pick up an extra 50 to 100 orders, maybe like that, I thought 100 was being like, all right, that's not going to happen. But we got over 600 orders. And yeah, so I get about a half a dozen emails every day going, hey, is my order shipped yet?
Yeah.
And I can promise, they're going out as fast as they can possibly go out.
You know, I posted in our Discord that Jesse at Diabolic, who does our shipping, literally has I think one staff member who's doing nothing but frantically packing and shipping Deaf Crocodile orders. So I was like, just imagine the warehouse that Veruca Salt's father has in Willy Wonka, where they're unwrapping Wonka bars, except in this case, they're frantically putting Deaf Crocodile Blu-rays into packages and shipping them out. So we really appreciate everybody's patience, and the support was kind of overwhelming. That people were buying anything that literally wasn't nailed down, which was amazing.
We sold out, or on the verge of selling out of a lot of, especially the older titles. So lots of reorders happening. A couple things got oversold, so those orders are being rushed so we can get those discs out to people as soon as possible. We really weren't prepared for this. Like, I guess when you never have a sale, when you do have one, people jump on it.
And we had a ton of people buying that had never bought from us before, which is fantastic that the word got out there about the flash sale. So now we know we'll be better prepared when we do the next one. And in the meantime, of course, we have our monthly releases coming out. Alraune and Student of Prague is just shipped. The 2551 trilogy got delayed a couple of weeks because, as it turns out, it was a mammoth undertaking, and just took a little bit more time in terms of the authoring and then the replication. Right. So it's going to ship out with.
Rather ironic that we kept saying be prepared, and we weren't.
But it's going to ship out. It's going to ship out with Tuvo Tullio, which
it is a really fantastic release. Like I was looking at QCing the disc 4, which is just the bonus materials, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And the fact that all 3 film soundtracks are on there and kind of how they're implemented on the disc is actually pretty cool. We thought enough ahead to realize we don't want people's OLED TVs burning in by having a still, track list up on screen.
Right.
So that's implemented. You press the pop-up menu and it'll give you a track list and you can skip ahead and stuff. And then it goes to black again after a couple seconds. So we don't want anyone's TV getting ruined by listening to a soundtrack. But yeah, it's a really great set. Like there's a lot of stuff on there.
It's funny because I was in film programming for many years. Worked for the American Cinematheque, and I ran PRS for a couple of years in Los Angeles. And what we do is very similar in the sense that you're constantly playing multiple games of chess. So there's the game of chess for what is like the release that's happening right now. There is the game of chess for what is coming up next month, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road. And it seems like forever ago that we put out The Tragedy of Man and The Devil's Bride and Freckled Max and the Spooks. And of course, that's just a couple months ago. I have to say, it seems like it was 2 or 3 years ago that we released The Cathedral of New Emotions. Craig, can you confirm that was this past January? Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because that was
2025.
Yeah, for the most part, we're quote done with something. At least like 3 months before it comes out usually.
Yeah.
So we're like 3 titles on when a disc comes out. So yeah, it throws off your sense of what's the current title.
Yeah, I'm just going to remind us that January of this year was Cathedral of New Emotions, the amazing Helmut Herbst animated sci-fi film. February was the DIFA sci-fi double feature of Signals, A Space Adventure, and In the Dust of the Stars, along with the 4K UHD and Blu-ray of Gwen and the Book of Sand, which we love. March was Freckled Max and the Spooks, along with Bill Plimpton's I Married a Strange Person. I know it seems like I'm talking about years ago, but that was just this year. So, and Craig and I just the past couple days have been looking at the release schedule for 2027, not 2026, because 2026 is more or less mapped out at this point,
and
with
very
few things that might drop in or shift a bit, but it's pretty much set. So, and now we're looking at 2027, and I don't know, what do you think? Like 65-70% of 2027 is already spoken for. So
yeah, I suspect we've already got a couple of months in 2026 where we're planning on releasing 3 new releases. So yeah, I can't imagine 2027 will look any different. Hopefully by then we'll actually maybe have a third person that can be officially called a staff member. Because we've got so much stuff lined up. Like, it just makes sense to get it out there, right? If we do 1 or 2 titles a month, I think we joked about this before, where like everyone's got the shelf of films behind them that like half of them are still sealed because you haven't had time to watch them yet. Well, we're doing the same thing. We're like collecting films and we haven't had time to release them yet. So yeah, we need to do some binge watching or binge releasing to get through this schedule.
I am trying to catch up on and watch some of the discs that I've bought in the past, like 6 months to a year. I watched a wonderful one just a couple nights ago, Alan Clark's Penda's Fen, which is really amazing. A film he made for the BBC in the early 70s that combines mythology, LGBTQ plus queer themes, religion, the supernatural. It's a really amazing and singular piece of work that I've known about for a long time, and almost ashamed to say I'd never watched Penda's Fen, but now I've corrected that, and it is really amazing. Highly recommend it to anyone who has not seen it and discovered it already. And all of Alan Clark's work, he's really fantastic. British filmmaker up there with Mike Leigh and sort of the best of the best.
I mean, I know this isn't your Reconnected show, but I did also watch recently on disc, because we just upgraded our home theater system in the living room, which we had a 13-year-old plasma TV that was starting to really kind of look a little funky. So I got a new TV, new Blu-ray player, new receiver, got everything set up and put in the Robert Eggers Nosferatu. And I have to say that was truly spectacular on every level. The film is incredible. The visuals, just every shot is just gorgeous. And the thing that really surprised me was the sound design, like the music and effects, and like really gave the home theater system a true workout, which I was not expecting from a Robert Eggers Nosferatu film. Highly recommend that disc if you've got a good system, for sure.
It's a beautiful movie, and it's a very dark movie, one that really shines on an OLED.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I know when it came out, so many people were complaining, it's too dark, I can't see anything. It's like, well, you don't have your system set up right then.
Well, yeah, and imagine...
It's supposed to be dark.
Imagine you streaming that off of some streaming platform at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to stream that film. Because I remember just one time, I had just recently watched, I think, the Marvel Thor movie, and then someone had it up on the TV streaming, and because I had just seen it, so I know what it looked like, and it was so dark streaming. I was like, wow, yeah, if you do that to Nosferatu, then yeah, you're not going to see anything.
Well, to go back onto this mood that Dennis was setting, and I know that this is going to be slightly unfair because 3 of them are not in everybody's hands yet. 17 deluxe editions from Deaf Crocodile have come out in 2025 or are about to come out. And obviously, like I said, 3 of them have not gotten in people's hands yet. Of those 14 that have been in everybody's hands, what are some of the most surprising reactions that you've seen, Dennis? What is the reception to some of these that you're just thrilled to see?
One that comes immediately to mind is The Devil's Bride. People have really taken to The Devil's Bride. I mean, we love all the films that we put out. I mean, that I would say that is one of the core things that Craig and I both have to really fall in love and really be into a movie to want to get behind it, because you do spend so much time to try and shine the best possible light. But The Devil's Bride, the Lithuanian rock opera, people have been really, really into discovering that one, which is fantastic. I mean, we kind of didn't know how people were going to react. It is a very well-known movie in Lithuania, but even when we contacted our collaborators, partners at the Lithuanian Film Center, Egle, who's our contact there, said, "I have to ask, how did you hear about this one?" We didn't think that anyone outside of Lithuania really knew about The Devil's Bride. So we're really so glad that the film and the filmmakers' work has been met with such a really good response. That's just one that comes to mind immediately. I think because you put it out there, but we really didn't know how people would respond. The Treasures of Soviet Animation sets have also, people have really, really been into them, and they have sold really quickly. Starting with the first one, Mystery of the Third Planet, The Past and the Return. And the second one, Lev Adamanov's The Snow Queen, Scarlet Flower and the Key. And now, of course, we're going to talk about Volume 3. But that's been great. I mean, Craig has put in so much work on lovingly restoring those so that they look, really, I think, better than they have since those films originally came out in theaters, and much more to come in that series.
And I can't take all credit for that. Tyler Fagerstrom's been doing an incredible job color grading them, and I've had a lot of help with the cleanup from Michael Coronado, because it's just been a tremendous amount of work to get through them. For most of the films, we've been able to use the scans from the original negative, but they need a lot of work, and so it's been a very large effort, and it's not been just me.
Yeah. What about you, Craig? Any responses to this year's titles that has been eye-opening for you?
I don't know about this year, but we don't put out a lot of new films. So I've been happy to see that it seems that in the Moscow slums is people are, I think, through word of mouth, realizing that people have seen it and they're like, "Oh, that's actually really fun. It's a good movie." It's in some ways an outlier in the things that we've put out. Mostly because it's a new film, but also it's less art house. It's more of just kind of like a fun crime mystery, movie.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's finding an audience. And on the flip side, a title we thought would be flying off the shelves, and even though it's been selling, all right, it's not quite the response we were expecting, and I blame it 100% on its ridiculous title. But Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands it's a masterpiece. It is so friggin' good.
Yeah, it's a great film.
I think people are nervous about the title, and they think it's like some sex film, and I'm like, it's not. It's, if you've seen Branded to Kill and like that, you will love this film. And it's a shame that it gets lumped into the pink film genre, and it's got the title, and so people are shying away, I think. But it's so good.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I compared it to the Velvet Underground. It's like a film equivalent of the Velvet's Sister Ray, which is itself like a really challenging, even for people who love the Velvets. And Inflatable Sex Doll is incredibly subversive and challenging. It really, it's like Point Blank meets Memento. It messes with the timeline and the chronology of the events that are happening. It's really fractured. It's got this amazing avant-garde jazz score. Oh no, it's a really wonderful film. But Craig's right. It's got a pretty freaking ridiculous title. Yeah.
Even the other English title, which is Dutch Wife in the Desert, really doesn't sell the film that well.
No, that doesn't help either.
No. Yeah. No, it really did need like a Branded to Kill or
whoever came up with
Tokyo
Branded
Drifter. I mean, the
Kill,
Suzuki titles.
That's how you sell a movie.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the resurgence in interest in pink films this year will bring more and more people to it. I mean, we've seen other companies start putting some of those out, but then the big thing, shout out to a couple friends of mine, Dakota Newt and Chris over at the Two in the Pinku podcast. If you listen to that show, you might enjoy the Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands as well. And if you like that film and you haven't heard the podcast, go check it out because they're great at what they do. Lots of great research.
Well, it's actually
the flip side of that though is that it's just barely a pink film. So,
right.
Like, if that's what you're expecting going in, you especially with the title, you're going to be like, well, that was a really cool movie, but it wasn't what I thought.
Yeah. Right. If you're looking for softcore titillation, it ain't Inflatable Sex Doll at all. You will be scratching your head. It's much closer to, like Robert Aldrich's Kiss Me Deadly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the
softcore movie,
the sex or nudity that's in it, like if you're finding it tittillating, you should seek help. Like,
you should seek psychiatric help.
It's kind of dark. Like this is not for titillation.
Well, what's really interesting is that the Metrograph Theater in New York City, which does amazing programming, is they are doing a series of films selected by the great Japanese animator Mamoru Oshii in connection with the re-release of Angel's Egg, which is a wonderful film. Encourage everyone to go out and see it if you have a chance in a local theater on re-release or buy it. It's a film that we had pursued ourselves for like 7+ years. Did not get. In the end of the day, it was just outside of our price range. We still love it, but they're doing a series of films that Oshii himself selected as favorite films inspirations at their screening Inflatable Sex Doll at the Wastelands, which is kind of amazing. I'm not entirely sure of what the connection is between Angel's Egg, which is sort of like if Andrei Tarkovsky made a Japanese anime and Inflatable Sex Doll, but we're really glad that it's going to be screened. And we love Oshii's work. So.
Amazing. On that note, I think it's probably time to talk about some other animation. We are seeing go up for sale today the deluxe limited edition release of the Treasures of Soviet Animation Volume 3, featuring the work of one incredible individual that, man, people have been clamoring ever since you teased this earlier this year, Dennis, and I think that they're going to be so excited when they see these. Tell us all about the features that we are getting in this box.
It focuses on the short films of one of the greatest living animators, one of the greatest animators, I think, of all time, Yuri Norstein, who is probably most famous for his short films Hedgehog in the Fog and The Tale of Tales are kind of his two probably most iconic works. They are. It's interesting because he is one of those animators who has worked exclusively in the short film format, although he has been working for many decades on a feature adaptation of Nikolai Gogol's The Overcoat, which we could talk about a little later. But to date, he's only animated and directed short films. And we are putting out a collection of 9 of his short films, and they're all newly restored beautifully by Craig and working with Tyler Fagerstrom, our colorist. And several of them are, I think, new to home video. I don't think they have been released on home video before. They're quite rare. It is almost a complete collection of Norstein's work. He contributed a short segment to a compilation film in Japan a number of years ago, and just trying to take that out of context. It's really meant to, I think, be seen and as part of the entire film. So that's not included. And I think he might have done some work for, commercials that we're not including. But the 9 short films here, all of which were produced for Soya's Malt Film, is essentially his main body of work and his main filmography. And in addition to beautifully restored versions of The Fox and the Hare, The Heron and the Crane, of course, Hedgehog and the Fog, and The Tale of Tales, there are some real rarities. There's a film that he did in 1977 called A Day Before Our Era, which was co-directed with Fyodor Kitruk, who was another wonderful Soviet animator. And it's an experimental collage of images about the French Revolution. I don't think it was ever officially finished, but Soya's Malt Film did have it in their archive. So we're including that. There is a little, like a PSA that he made in 1969, called Children and Matches, which is about kind of warning kids not to play with matches. And it's really like wonderful and delightful. And that is newly restored. His very first film, The 25th, The First Day, which is co-directed with Arkady Turin. And it's his tribute to the Bolshevik Revolution on October 25th. So there are some rare gems that fans of Norstein's work may not be as familiar with. This is the first official Blu-ray release for his films, amazingly, in the US. There was a previous Blu-ray release that came out in Japan a few years ago that has now become very rare and sort of hideously expensive. So we're hoping that this will introduce his amazing, amazing creative work to many more people. And, Hedgehog and the Fog and Tale of Tales are regularly cited, when they do lists of what are the greatest animated films of all time. They regularly pop up. And when you watch them, you understand why. They are so haunting. They are so poetic. They are so deeply and profoundly moving. There is such an incredible emotional connection with Norstein's work, especially in his greatest works, like Fox and the Hare, Heron and the Crane, Hedgehog, and Tale of Tales. I mean, these are short films, but they contain as much or more emotional richness than most feature films you will ever see. Hedgehog and the Fog is only 11 minutes long, and it is as epic a journey as like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Really, when you see it, it is amazing, mysterious, wonderful, and again, unforgettably haunting.
Beautiful. Craig, you want to tell us about the animation and some of the restorations on this?
The animation is very cool. Not quite. Wouldn't say you've never seen anything like it, but it's definitely it's got its own very particular style. I Heron and the Crane jumps out at me just visually, because it's the color palette's very muted. It's almost mostly like different shades of white, but really just works so beautifully. I'm really looking forward to seeing that coming up, on people's, nice big TVs. The stuff should look beautiful. And I think I mentioned earlier, most of these are from OCN scans, but there are a couple that wasn't available. One in particular was a anamorphic print, which was in pretty rough shape. So, it won't, technically look quite as immaculate as some of the other ones, but they're all going to look as good as we can possibly make them look. That's just they're really amazing films. Like, I know Hedgehog gets all the press, but I think Heron and the Crane, Fox and the Hare, so cute. Like, people are going to find a lot of enjoyment out of more than just Hedgehog, even though Hedgehog is the big star. The whole set is really amazing stuff.
Well, and he also collaborated with one of the other legendary figures in Soviet animation, Ivan Ivanov. Early on, the Battle of Kerzhenets is really gorgeous. And in many ways, I think that might be Norstein's first great masterpiece, at least visually. And it's inspired by the legend of the city of Kitezh, which, according to the legend, actually disappeared into a lake to evade Mongol invaders. And it's just visually so stunning, incorporating a lot of images from Russian icon paintings. So Norstein clearly was an enormous admirer and scholar of many different eras in Russian art, and incorporated a lot of that into his films. Well, not just Russian, but also, European and world art. And you'll see that in A Day Before Our Era, which is about the French Revolution, Battle of Kerzhenets, 25th, the First Day. So it's interesting. There are his sort of famous films, kind of anthropomorphic films, fairy tales, whether it's The Fox and the Hare, Heron and the Crane. But then there are these more pointedly political films, such as the 25th, the First Day, the Battle of Kerzhenets, and A Day Before Our Era. So it's really interesting that there are these different facets and elements of Norstein's career that people can discover, by being able to watch all of these 9 films together. We're also very fortunate that we're able to include a feature-length documentary about his, as I said, decades in the making, unfinished adaptation of Gogol's The Overcoat. And it was made in 2019 by a Japanese filmmaker named Ryo Saitani. It's called Yuri Norstein Making the Overcoat. And the filmmaker, went to Russia, met with Norstein. We see brief clips from the unfinished film, talking about his struggle to continue making the movie. It is a wonderful and in many ways heartbreaking portrait of the creative process, what goes into trying to make an animated film. When you lose collaborators, when they die, the impact that has on the creative process and how difficult it is to continue when you lose key friends and collaborators. So even though we're not able to include the overcoat, I hope and pray someday it will be finished. But there are excerpts, and there is this wonderful documentary, and also we get to see Norstein being interviewed. You see his studio, which is fantastic.
Amazing. I know I've seen at least one person ask if the overcoat was going to be on there, and I know that's disappointing, but man, this is still the most comprehensive package towards this filmmaker and lovingly restored in ways that have not been seen before. But we also got some extras. Craig, you want to tell us what else is coming in the box?
As Craig unmutes, we will say there are wonderful commentary tracks by film scholar Michael Brook to each of the short films in the collection. For anyone who's familiar with Michael's work, and he's contributed to many, many Blu-rays in the past, is actually scheduled to contribute to some of our upcoming releases as well. And he did a wonderful commentary for The Devil's Bride, did a great job. There is a new visual essay by Evan Chester, who's a wonderful film historian who's contributed a number of amazing visual essays to our recent releases. And Craig, are you back with us?
I am.
Do you want to talk about the booklet essays?
Yeah, we've got this booklet has 3 essays. As always, Walter Chaw. I can't get enough of his writing, and I am still just pinch myself that he's willing to do an essay for us for every one of our releases. It's fantastic. Jenny Barker's doing the second essay, which I think she's done several for us on animated releases we've done. She's always fantastic.
She's a professor of animation and a scholar. Is amazing.
Yeah,
writing.
And then John Atkins, who has recently been doing more and more stuff with us with our animated releases, and he runs the Animation Obsessive social media stuff, which he puts out just incredible visual essays and written essays regularly on his own. So we're really very happy to partner up with him on this release and a few more coming forward in the future.
Yeah,
he did the visual essay on Volume 2 with the Miyazaki and the Snow Queen relationship, which that visual essay I thought was fantastic.
Yes, and interestingly, John's essay for the booklet focuses specifically on Norstein's relationship with Japanese literature and culture, and his work is beloved in Japan. As I said, the only previous Blu-ray release of Norstein's films was in Japan a few years ago. So John,
there's clearly a connection there with the only Blu-ray releases in Japan. He did ads in Japan. He did the compilation film in Japan. The documentary about the overcoats from a Japanese filmmaker. So
it was produced by a Japanese company. Yeah.
Wow.
So those essays are really fantastic. And again, a huge shout out to everyone, including Ryan, you and Dr. Will, who contribute. We are so fortunate to have such amazing film scholars, critics, historians, film lovers, who contribute so much to these releases.
It's just nice when people notice. I mean, there's reviews that Deaf Crocodile discs have been getting lately, with a lot of attention to the extras. And you're speaking on Michael Brook. A lot of people finally discovering his commentary work. I'm noticing in some of the reviews getting posted, so that's nice to hear. It seems like a lot of the analytical reviews that happen nowadays are only on the film and like the quality of the actual plot of the film, and not about how much technical quality goes into the disc and context and the extras. And that is always pleasant to see that people actually care about those things. So appreciate seeing that.
Yes, we are really excited that Michael is going to be contributing another commentary to. I think we've teased it. I don't know that we've officially announced it, but we're doing a 4K restoration of Grigory Kromanov's amazing Estonian sci-fi giallo mystery alien invasion movie Dead Mountaineers Hotel, which is coming out in the spring in a 4K UHD and Blu-ray combo. And Michael's going to be doing audio commentary for that as well. And is super excited about that one in particular, because I think it really like ticks all the boxes for him in terms of the kind of cinema he loves to research and to talk about.
It's just nice to see that title finally get a nice U.S. release as well. It's one that's gotten a couple overseas releases, but nothing with a lot of attention here in the U.S.
Well, this is a brand new restoration from the best available film elements, working with our partners at the Estonian Film Institute. This is a project that was Craig, 5-6 years in the making in terms of going back and forth trying to negotiate the rights. They were hoping to get funding overseas to restore the film themselves, and then kind of kept putting in applications, and then they wouldn't get funded. And finally, I think we just wore them down. We said, look, we will restore the film beautifully. We will share it with you afterwards so that you will have that, obviously, for your archive and for your purposes. Finally, they agreed. So we're super excited that Dead Mountaineers Hotel will be coming out in the spring. It's an amazing film. One, it has one of the all-time great film titles. It's filled with sort of mystery and dread and anticipation, based on an amazing novel by the Strugatsky brothers, whose work also was adapted famously by Tarkovsky as Stalker. And then they also wrote the source novel for Hard to Be a God. So we're really excited and actually hope that people take the time to start exploring the Strugatsky brothers' work. I know a number of their books have been translated into English, so hopefully people will track those down.
Amazing. Of course, got to shout out the cover art on the Treasures of Soviet Animation Volume 3, which continues to be done by keeping the art in the same style throughout the entire box set for deluxe editions. This is Haley Buck, right?
Yep. She did a fantastic job on the third cover. And she just emailed me yesterday, anxious. She's like, she's like really excited just to dig into the next one. And I was like, well, it's going to be, still a ways off. We're still working on it. But yeah, she's raring to go on each one of these. I think she's as excited to do it as we are to have her do it. But yeah, the covers have been great, and I don't know if I say this is this this cover might be the best one. Maybe, I don't know.
Ooh.
It's hard to say that because they're all so good. But yeah, she captured the hedgehog and the owl and the just beautiful soft look that they have. She captured really, really well. So yeah,
I do love her artwork for Volume 2.
I mean, all three of them.
The Snow Queen, and then the images from the Scarlet Flower on the back, and they're all great.
She does a really great job, and this cannot be easy because these are sets with multiple films, and capturing imagery from all of them, but incorporating it into one cohesive cover. She's just been doing such a great job. But we're thrilled that she's on board for all 6 volumes.
Yeah, it especially this one, of course, because there are 9 short films that we're featuring. So the question is, okay, what iconic images from Norstein's work do you choose to include? But really all of them, because it's not just a single film. Like I remember when she started work on the first Mystery of the Third Planet, The Past and the Return. Those are radically different in terms of the style of those movies. Roman Kachanov's Mystery of the Third Planet looks incredibly different from Vladimir Tarasov's like cosmic psychedelic style in The Past and the Return. And even for Lev Atamanov's collection, Volume 2, the Snow Queen and Scarlet Flower have a similar look, but the key is completely different. It was done in a kind of mid-century UPA style of animation, which we love to show the kind of the range and the breadth of his work as an animator. But it's also a big challenge for her. Like, how do you create something that's really attractive and organic and cohesive and true to the spirit of the films? So
I really like that. And this wasn't the brilliant planning on either of our parts, but it's working out nicely. That we've got 6 volumes of Soviet animation, and we've been lucky enough that we've got Haley's agreed to do all 6, so they'll have like when all 6 are out. Even though each cover is completely different, they'll have a cohesive kind of style to them because they're all from Haley. And we've also now, Dave McKean did the Alrane Student of Prague cover, which is truly stunning. Seeing that in hand, finally, it's just really gorgeous. And he's also agreed to continue doing our silent film releases. So, and he has the design he created for that Alrane Student of Prague, is going to continue on. So those will also look really nice on your shelf because they'll all kind of have a cohesive design, all from Dave McKean. So you can look forward to lots more Dave McKean artwork.
I think he was so excited by the next one that we have upcoming, which is scheduled for
quite a ways off. He's already
summer. I think he already sent it to us. He was like, yeah. I can't wait. So he literally did the artwork and sent it to us. And the release isn't coming out until summer of 2026. But amazing.
And those paintings are. Yeah, if you thought the Irani Student of Prague paintings were good, you're going to really love the next 2.
And we have to give a shout out to Beth Morris.
Oh, of course.
Who is our kind of go-to, I want to say in-house, she is really our in-house graphic designer who works on all of our releases, although she's based in Cardiff, Wales.
I love the design she came up with for these.
For the Soviet animation.
Yeah. And it's, again, she's keeping a consistent look across the series, and it's working really well. I really, really like it. And again, even she did similarly with the Bill Plimpton releases. The standard edition covers have a have a consistent look across the titles, and as a collector nerd, that just makes me very happy. There's nothing worse than having a series of something on your shelf and the design is not cohesive.
Right.
I will say, while we've been talking, the atmospheric river has definitely arrived here in Santa Cruz. It is really raining hard out there now. It is pouring.
This is not good.
Yeah. So for anyone who ordered Soviet Animation Volumes 1 and 2 during the flash sale, we did unfortunately oversell on both of those by a little bit. So we are having more printed right now, and they will arrive very soon. So we thank everyone for their patience. And we were kind of shocked that, we try to estimate the demand when we print the deluxe limited editions. And kind of early on, I think we were printing, a lot more. And a lot of those have now, pretty much sold out from when we first kind of broke off from OCN and went out on our own. So then, we tried to be a little bit more conservative and kind of guesstimate. We definitely underestimated for volume 1 of Soviet Animation, Mystery of the Third Planet, The Pass and the Return. That sold out very quickly. And copies are now apparently changing hands for ridiculous amounts on eBay.
Like, oh, that's just ridiculous.
For the deluxe edition. And, just a reminder, people can go out and buy the standard edition, for our regular price, very reasonably. And those films are amazing. So, I have to say, if I can get a deluxe edition of a release with a slipcover and, the price is right, but I love watching the movie. So I'm just as happy to have a standard edition of something as well. And I know that, for many collectors, like, we've got to have the deluxe slipcase, and we love that there are so many people out there that are excited about our releases, and that's why we put so much love and attention and try to hire artists like Dave McKeon and Haley Buck and others. But you still can get Soviet Animation Volumes 1 and 2, well, when they're reprinted. And we did print more of the deluxe edition for Volume 3, the Norstein set, anticipating that because it's the first Blu-ray release of these films in
the way
North
the first
America.
Two sold, so we are getting more of Volume 3 printed. Hopefully we picked a good number, and it's not like still going to sell out, or even worse, we sit on thousands of copies. This series is definitely selling better than we anticipated. So we're inching up the print runs on the deluxe editions, because we were trying to find the sweet spot of, like, we don't want to be sitting on them for years, but at the same time, we don't want a bunch of people who really wanted it not to be able to get one. So, and I've seen some discussions online where people are just print more. I'm like, well, we put right on the label a limited edition of, X number of units. It would be very sleazy to just print more. Like, we said there's 1,500, or we said there's 2,000. They were like, yeah, but we really printed 4,000. We just don't tell you. Like, that's, pardon my French, bullshit. Like if we printed too few, that's on us. Like, sorry, but we're not going to just print more than we said we did, just so we can sell more units, and people think they have one of 1,500 when they've actually got one of 4,000. Like that's not right.
Yeah, we don't base our print runs on like trying to create scarcity. We really do try to anticipate, like, okay, how many copies of the deluxe limited edition do we think are going to sell in the first like 3 to 6 months? So, for example, we overprinted a bit on the Savage Hunt of King Stack, which was our first release after we had left OCN. And we're just now, I think, getting close to selling out.
Yeah.
The last copies of the deluxe edition. We love that film. It's amazing and a beautiful deluxe edition. But we had printed, I think we overestimated what the immediate demand for it would be. We printed a lot of
particularly since we just left OCN, a lot of people didn't know where to find our stuff or So that made us a little gun shy because we're like, all right, we still have a lot of discs
of Deluxe King Stack,
and we have to pay for them up front. So
yeah, and then I think Felidae, the Deluxe of Felidae, is that sold out now?
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah,
okay. That we had also printed a lot because anticipating, demand.
That one we kind of got that one kind of in the sweet spot where like we did print more, but it did sell more.
It did sell more.
If we could nail that kind of print run and sales every time, that would be fantastic.
Right. So we are increasing because we're, thankfully getting more and more fans and followers and people who are discovering the movies. So we are starting to bump up the kind of base number for the deluxe editions that we print, but we're still not printing thousands and thousands and thousands of copies of something if we don't anticipate that there's going to be the demand for that in the first, like, again, sort of 3 to 6 months. So Alraune and the Student of Prague, I think, was their first one, the deluxe that sold out in pre-sales. Is that right?
Yeah, that's our first one that sold out in pre-sales. Because that bill comes due when the discs arrive. Literally, they get shipped via UPS. When that UPS tracking says it's been delivered, we get the invoice in the mail. So yeah, we need to move those units as quick as possible to pay the bill. Because we don't have a Bezos-like reserve of cash that we just sit on. But the fact that Alraune sold out in pre-sales and people are paying crazy amounts for out-of-print deluxe editions means that coming up on the 17th of November, which subscription enrollment is open. If you subscribe, you pay up front, and you get the next 6 months of new releases, deluxe editions, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I missed it. Now I got to go on eBay and pay $200. Saves you from the headaches of having to place an order each month or forgetting and missing one. And it helps us tremendously because, like I said, that bill comes due when those discs arrive. Knowing up front we've got X amount of subscriptions, like essentially pre-sold, like it just makes life a lot easier for us to know up front we've got a certain number between subscriptions or wholesale like sales. Knowing those numbers up front makes running this business much easier. So it's a win-win for everybody. We still have the memberships, so if you want to save a few bucks on the subscription, you can buy a membership, which gives you more in store credit than you paid for, and you can apply that credit to pay for the subscription. So
I will mention, and I think we've mentioned this on the Discord. So our Discord has actually become a really great platform for communicating, people sharing their wish lists, questions about upcoming releases, and also talking about all sorts of other things that are not specifically related to Deaf Crocodile, whether that's their animals, their cats and dogs, and other animal family members, or music, you name it. So everyone who subscribes for the upcoming 6-month subscription also becomes a member, and you can access the Discord. And if you buy any of the memberships, of course. But I think we announced this on Discord. So sort of due to popular demand and seeing a lot of these selling out very quickly, and then people like charging sky high prices in the secondary markets, we are going to start reserving a small number of the deluxe editions. And when they sell out for the general public, we will still have a few copies that we will make available to
we do have
our members.
Yeah, if you've been on our website, you see there's a members only button at the top, and that's a little shop of items that are only available to members. Admittedly, there's been less in there than I had hoped to be able to put in there, because we've been overwhelmed with work. But we do have, we'll be starting to have some of the out of print deluxe editions will be available in there. We've got a few other fun things we're going to put in there. And anyone listening, if you have suggestions of what kind of members only type things you'd like to see available, let us know, because we want to make being a member worth more than just getting a little extra store credit than you paid for. And the Discord alone is kind of, I mean, you pay and you get more credit than you paid for, so you're already ahead. But then you also get access to the Discord, and that is a lot of fun. And I do like sharing stuff I'm working on in there. And everyone's been good about not sharing that outside the Discord. So as long as people keep it inside the Discord, I will keep sharing. So you get to see. I'll send stills of stuff I'm restoring, or artwork artists are working on while they're working on it, before it's done. Just fun stuff like that.
Yeah, we shared a lot of production stills because we're limited as to how many we can actually include in any booklet, for example. But recently shared a bunch of photos that were sent to us by Gottfried Kolditz's son, and he directed Signals: A Space Adventure and In the Dust of the Stars, and his son was kind enough to share a number of photos of his father, so we were able to share some of those. And so there's a lot of rare materials that we share on the Discord just for the members there. So and we've gotten, oh my God, tons and tons of amazing suggestions, more than we could ever possibly hope to track down and release. But
some really good ones, though.
There are some great ones, and in fact, some of our upcoming releases were suggested to us kind of like cold call out of the blue, and movies that we looked into and said, oh my God, that's fantastic. We've got to see if that's available. So we love getting suggestions.
The other thing, I don't know if you wanted to not say any bit of this yet, Craig, but I will say Craig and I have already been discussing some more ideas to make the Discord even more appealing to people. So we shall be talking about those publicly here soon, too.
Yeah, let's get that nailed down before we tell anybody, because I don't want to say we're doing it, and then for whatever reason we can't.
I just can't believe that you were able to get one of the presidents that are still living to come in and do a Q&A. That's just
Right,
amazing,
yeah.
Greg. Well done.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Well, and then we recently, announced our January 2026 releases, which are coming up now in 2.5 months, and will be part of the next 6-month subscription, which is the incredible Soviet red Western white son of the desert, and the equally incredible Czech film noir / atomic age paranoia / sci-fi film Krakotit, beautifully restored by the Narodny Film Archive in Prague. And because they did a 4K scan and restoration from the original nitrate negative, we decided that we needed to put out a 4K UHD version of it. It's such a gorgeous black and white movie. So that is actually coming out in a 4K UHD and Blu-ray
And I've
combo.
I've QC'd the HDR, 4K HDR of it, and it is stunning. Like, this is a fans of black and white cinema are really in for a treat. Like, this thing,
Yeah.
This thing is really, really gorgeous.
The cinematography is some of the most stunning black and white photography I've seen recently from the mid-late 40s. I mean, again, if you love the cinematography in Orson Welles, like in Lady from Shanghai, or a few years later, Charles Laughton's Night of the Hunter. I mean, it is just unbelievably gorgeous black and white photography. I mean, really, from the opening of the movie, the lead character staggering along this mist-covered riverbank, and your jaw hits the floor, and then it just continues from there throughout the film. Actually, a movie which is not dissimilar in its way from Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands, in that it is a really fragmented kind of time jumping temporal experience, or as we said, Point Blank or Memento, where you were.
The film literally opens and tells you that this is a fever dream that you're about to watch. So
no, it's incredible.
I want to mention though that 2551 is delayed, and it's very likely going to have a ripple effect. So I want to make sure people understand, like, the Norstein release is the final release of the 6-month subscription that's wrapping up in December. If for whatever reason it is also late and falls into January, it's still part of your 6-month subscription from previous, and you'll still get that. And that the White Son of the Desert and Krakotit are the first 2 releases of the next 6-month subscription. So even if delivery dates slide, they're still part of. Norstein is part of subscription that's ending. White Son of the Desert and Krakotit are part of the new subscription that's coming. Because I know that'll get confusing if something's like dates are shifting, but
we have 10 releases scheduled for the next subscription, January through June of 2026, and one of those is a 5-film box set. So 10 releases, but a lot more films than that. And some amazing, incredible films, beautiful new restorations that Craig has been furiously working on to deliver in time.
More 4K HDR releases than ever before, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking through this schedule for that 6 months, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a question mark on possibly a fifth 4K release in that subscription period.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus, like you said, the box set, which has 5 films. So it's a really, really big subscription period.
And we're trying to keep the price as reasonable as possible because we understand that, it is a tough economy out there. Very grateful for everyone who keeps supporting what we do. Whether you buy a single disc in a flash sale, or you sign up for a subscription, or buy a membership for discounted, basically Deaf Croc dollars to spend. All of this helps us continue doing what we do, and just as a reminder, a lot of the films that we put out, we wind up having to pay for new scans ourselves and do the restoration and the color grade and all of that, because that's the only way that we can actually make them available, that they don't exist in a form. Hey, if there is a gorgeous restoration of a film that's already been done, we are more than happy to license it and put it out and give all the credit to our partners, the archives, and the people who've restored it. But that's just not the case for a lot of the films that we're releasing. And in fact, just recently, we got delivered scans for 2 incredible films that, given our long leads, will probably come out in early 2027. And both of those, we paid for brand new scans because that's the only way that we're going to be able to restore them and put out really beautiful versions.
It's a lot of work. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to see some of the effort that goes into more and more of these, because some of these smaller companies specifically that aren't, diving into the studio work that has been scanned more and more are really showing their passion for these films and these products and these genres that are not getting the love that big mainstream publishers are putting out there.
Well, the Soviet animation ones in particular, I think we were very ambitious, let's say, in putting out 3 volumes in 2025. I think they nearly killed Craig because they wound up being really massive, intensive restorations. I have to say, this year, between Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands, which was one of, I think, the most challenging restorations Craig's worked on for us, but the Soviet animations, especially like the Lev Atamanovs and these Yuri Norstein films, it's been really intensive, and it shows. I mean, oh my God, I watched the Lev Atamanov disc the other day. I was just blown away by how gorgeous, how ravishing the Scarlet Flower and the Snow Queen are.
Well, thank you. Anytime I watch them, all I see is the stuff I missed.
We encourage everyone to check out the Animation Obsessive Substack, which is incredible. You can subscribe to it for free, because there is going to be a big article coming out, I think this weekend, I believe, about a major restoration project that we're working on for a currently lost Mexican animated feature film that we've scanned from the camera negative. It will be lost no longer, and it's really amazing. For anyone who's a fan of like Delta Space Mission or The Son of the Stars or any of the other Cathedral of New Emotions, the animated sci-fi films that we've put out, I think they're going to love this one. So there's going to be a really detailed essay coming out in Animation Obsessive. It's our first sort of official announcement of this project.
Nice. Very nice. All right. I think that's all we got then. Craig, Dennis, any other thoughts for the end of the year? Any other thoughts for 2025 in general? Anything you want to share with everybody?
Oh my God, it's been an unbelievably busy. When you told me the number of deluxe editions that you're putting out in 2025, my jaw hit the floor. No, I have to say it's been so gratifying to see the response to these releases, the filmmakers' work. Again, our goal really is to shine the best possible light on the work of the filmmakers, and so we're so glad that people are discovering, Gwen in the Book of Sand, Cathedral of New Emotions, Freckled Max and the Spooks, Inflatable Sex Doll. More people, hopefully, will discover Inflatable Sex Doll, despite the silly title. And all of the other releases, like the flash sale, people were buying a lot of our older titles, and it was fantastic. I was like, that's great that people are going to be watching these movies.
Agreed. All right. On that note, thank you all for listening. We will see you in the Discord. Enjoy Treasures of Soviet Animation Volume 3. Subscribe if you're able, and share this with somebody else that might like this.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
No, I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description